Hey, welcome back to the Whisker channel. I'm the Whisker Man. I have a special guest, the Whisker Mannequin. And today, we're going to teach you how to get the best shave of your life.
So the first thing you want to do is gather your tools and make sure you have everything assembled. Right now you have your double-edged razor, disposable razor with at least two blades is the same, a little scrub brush. You also want to have your shaving brush and your shaving bowl. You also want to have your shaving cream. You also want to grab electric clippers or trimmers, and since we're going to be cleaning them, you want to have a tool to take them apart and do that job. You also want to have an exfoliation brush that prevents razor bumps and ingrown hairs, the whisker. You can see the flexible bristles and the shower lanyard so you can hang it up and always remember to use it. So now we are getting ready to clean the electric trimmer, and you want to make sure that you unplug it because it's going to be wet. You're going to have water on there, and you don't want to have any mortal accidents. And the reason we're doing this is because bacteria, dirt, debris, these are the kinds of elements that cause razor burn bumps. A lot of people think they have razor bumps, but razor burn bumps, I think, are the most common downsides of shaving. And as you can see, we're going to take our little scrub brush, just something with hard, firm bristles. Almost, you could use a spare toothbrush if you want. And you just kind of clean it and scrub it as you would the kitchen counter or any other surface, hard surface. And you want to get between the teeth because that's really where the bacteria and all these other harmful things that cause razor burn bumps hide and dwell. But this isn't just general shaving advice in this video. This advice is really geared towards preventing razor burn bumps and also razor bumps and ingrown hairs. And so you want to make sure you run it under hot, warm water and just really get in there. You don't want to shake it around in the pool of dirty water because that is still keeping it, it's not really cleaning it as well. And then lastly, you want to spray some rubbing alcohol on it. The one I have is about 70%. It's strong, but it's not ridiculously strong. So we have our double-edged disposable razor. The one I have is a butterfly version. So as you can see, the opening kind of pops out like that. And so here you have the blade. Blades you can use about 5 or 6 times, maybe even more, depending on the texture of your beard, how often you wolf out, and how often you shave. But these guys are really, really sharp, so you have to be careful. But they don't dull that quickly, so maybe you could use them more often. But if you do, follow the cleaning steps that I've showed you just now with the electric trimmer. Run it under hot water, sterilize it with rubbing alcohol, use a scrub brush if you can. Be gentle because be careful with the edge of the blades. So now you want to get your shaving bowl and use your shaving cream, lather it up. The shaving cream should be the kind that doesn't have a lot of foam, meaning the foam and the bubbles. As you can see, this one doesn't have a lot of bubbles in it. So it's mainly good at lathering. So here comes Wizker Mannequin, and that's what you do. You take your shaving brush and you pretty much just go in circular motions. And before this, you make sure you do this after a hot and warm shower. So the skin is soft and moisturized, and you want to leave that shaving cream on for at least a minute or two. But do this definitely. This is wet shaving after the shower. And these are the angles you want to hold it at. The 90-degree angle you want to hold it at, and one pass, 1 to 2 inches at a time. No pressure, and with the double-edged razor you could just flip it over 1 to 2 passes at a time, going with the grain, that is downward, not upward. Do a face map, see where the hair falls and how it grows and what direction it grows in. And usually sort of the sideburn area grows down. You can hold it in a certain way so you can actually apply greater, not more pressure, but decide on how much pressure you want to apply. Sometimes you can't really gauge it by holding the handle, but you can gauge it by holding the topmost portion of it. So that's with wet shaving. And as I said, when you clean it, make sure you run it under hot water. So again, you want to make sure you follow that face map with those tight corners in those areas. You want to make sure you notice where the hair is growing. So as you can see, I changed the direction on that one. And with this, you want to, again, downward 1 to 2 inches, downward 1 to 2 inches. You don't want to go too far down. That's too much. Some people, they scrape, they keep going and going and going. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to press too hard. As I said before, a gliding touch is all you need. And again, you don't want to rinse it in that area of pool of water. You want to have it in a running stream of hot water. So down, and this area here along the edge of the curve underneath the neckline, that's where people commonly get bumps. That's an area that you have to really do face mapping, and especially the Adam's apple area. That little bump right there where you have your Adam's apple is very challenging to shave. But you have to look at the angle at which the hair grows, and you might have to like peel, or not peel, but stretch back the area of the skin when you attempt to shave. But you do it very gently and at a certain angle. Usually you come in at 90 degrees, end up at 35 degrees, 30. You start at 90 and you do down to about 30 to 45 degree angle. Again, based on that face map, you know what to do. So as you can see, the hair is growing down that way. If you focus on that area, the hair might be growing sideways. So you go sideways. The hair goes down, right directly under the chin, you go downwards, usually downwards. And relather if you're going to reshave that area. If you don't get it the first time, relather. But that area right there, those focused areas in the Adam's apple area, sometimes it goes sideways and you go sideways. One pass at a time if you can, 1 to 2 inches. Always shave like you might cause damage, like you're mowing, not like you're mowing the front yard of your lawn. And that's it. That's what you want to do. So we're going to switch from wet shaving to dry shaving. Dry shaving is a lot different than wet shaving because you're going up as opposed to with the grain, you're going against the grain. You take your clippers, and rather than that smooth stroke downward in the direction of the hair growth, you're going up in the opposite direction. And that's how clippers effectively remove the hair. You can flip them over if you want. That actually gets you a tighter shave, more like a line. They call it the line-up shave, where you get those really precise, sharp lines. Be careful, depending on how sharp your clippers are. And down in that area as well, you want to do the same thing, but instead go up all the time. Usually it's against the grain all the time when you're using electric clippers or trimmers. Don't press too hard. Don't aggravate the skin too much. And that's pretty much the general rule. But shaving too many times, I know people have shaving, they have to shave for their career, but you want to use an electric clipper a lot of times. And as you wash your face, you just get your towel and pat it down. You can even put your towel under that hot water and give your face a relief, because those clippers and those shaving tools have kind of taken off a layer of skin. And what you want to do at least 24 hours after hair removal is where you want to exfoliate the skin. Not directly immediately after, but follow the directions and take your whisker brush and exfoliate at least the next day, because by then hair is the micro hairs that you shaved. If you shaved properly, are going to begin growing out of the skin, and you want to train those hairs and tease those hairs away from the skin before they get a chance to take the undesired direction and pierce their way back into the skin. So you want to be able to exfoliate, certain areas, specifically the area underneath the Adam's apple and the chin area. Obviously, for women, they're going to be using bikini lines, armpits, all these tight areas. The whisker can handle them with ease because of the unique shape of the brush. And if you have a long beard, when you start this shaving, shave it down to shadow length before a close razor shave. But with exfoliation, you want to place the fingers right in the concave surface of the whisker, because you can apply various levels of pressure. I don't know if you have any other brushes, but you can use them in circular motions, or you can use them on that curved area. That's what's great. It has that curved area where you can just align it towards the neckline, which is, as I said, the most challenging area. You use it in up and down strokes, motions that are against the grain. And with other brushes, they have flat surfaces, so you don't really get it. You don't get your fingers, and you can't really apply the amount of pressure you need to in those specific areas. But with the whisker, you can. And there you go. That's really how you exfoliate.
Now let's talk about the post-shave tips. Now that your skin is clean and smooth and you have that glowing skin and that aura surrounding you, what you want to do is maintain that. When you have your post moisturizer, your aftershave, you have to make sure that it's not clogging your skin, because you want those pores to breathe. You want to be able to not have those fine micro hairs that have been shaved fall under the skin or be trapped underneath all that heavy cream and thick liquids. And also you want to make sure not to trap and suffocate those fine hairs underneath any tight-fitting neck ties or shirts or in your bikini zone. Try to keep it loose at least for the first 24 to 48 hours, so those hairs at least have a chance to grow up. And exfoliate. Use the whisker. Make sure those hairs are always being teased up and away and out from the skin, and the fine dermis of the skin is always being exfoliated, so you never get ingrowns. So that's the shaving tips for the best shave of your life. I'm the Wizker Man. Got to thank my special guest, the Wizker Mannequin. He's not going to get a tan today. Don't worry about it. I'm going to the beach. I hope you are. So join me next time. I'm going to give you some more tips. Follow me. Let's get this movement started. We want to make sure people never get razor bumps and ingrown hairs again. It's not something we have to worry about. I know I don't. So talk to you soon. Stay smooth.